Hey, welcome back. We have a knife here. I think I know which one this is, and I'm pretty excited to check it out if so. Let's take a look and confirm. Using the old Demco 8020.5 there to do the deed of opening the box. Yeah, sweet. All right, so this is one that I saw and kind of saw it after it was already sold out. And luckily, one of you on the channel, this is what I think it is, yes, helped me get it. So big shout out to, oh, look at that. No markings on the box. That's kind of cool. Interesting. That's different than usual for these guys. Shout out to Thunderlight. Check him out at Thunderlight on YouTube because he helped me get this onto the channel and I'm super excited to be handling it. This is the CJRB Pyrite Large. It just came out of 40-degree weather, so it's going to be a little condensation issue for a bit with it here, but ooh, yeah, that is large. Wow, that's pretty sweet. All right, let's do a little size comparison with the original Pyrite there. Quite a bit bigger here, so just jumping right into it. We have a 3.625-inch blade, about a 3.375 cutting edge there. Total length 8.625 versus total length 7.375, 7.25 plus 7.3 inches. So quite a bit bigger. The feel in hand is way bigger, like more than that might sound. Nice centering here. And this one happens to be, where is it here? There we go. Check that out. Prototype. So they haven't released the CJRB Pyrite, I think that L is for large, yet. So very lucky to get one of these original prototypes on the channel. I don't quite understand the theory of selling the prototypes on their website, but hey, interesting. Just put them out there in the wild, I guess, and see what happens. I'm not really sure what the value is of doing a prototype if you're going to do it that way, but it works for me. So yeah, this is a all steel construction, so it feels pretty heavy. Let's do a quick weigh in there. Maybe we'll do some quick size comparisons. So here's the original Pyrite. Wasn't super light, but was not heavy at 3.75 ounces for a smaller knife. This guy feels like a good 4.5, 5.35. Wow, that's pretty big. It does have milling out of the scales, so I'm surprised it weighs that much. Like I said, was kind of guessing more like 4.5, but I did feel it is very hefty. That is not, for this size knife, this is where the G10 might be kind of nice. On this size, I feel like this one feels just right, but on this size knife, that could be pretty nice to have the G10. Nice choke up point, which gives you a massive amount of knife sticking out if you go choke up on it. I'd say on this one, you could probably skip the forward choil or the finger choil. If they were really thinking it through, there's probably not a whole lot of justification. I mean, it ends up working as a sharpening choil, so it's nice to have and everything, but, on a knife this big, I'm not sure that that's really necessary. Perfect centering, which I'm really impressed with. Yeah, and this one's like a perfect example. It doesn't look like he used it or anything too much, if so. So yeah, really nice. Did they change the thumb stud finally? That was one of my criticisms. They did. That's sweet. That was one of my criticisms of this guy, and I don't know if it's just because they sized it up, but this guy's a little too pokey. That final thumb stud there just ended up being a little pokey for my taste. And so you can see on this one, they've actually changed that up. Let me get you a nice close-up here. And it's not nearly as thin as the thumb stud on this guy. Still don't like the fact that it's round ball. Like I just don't like the feel of the ball. I'd go with a flat thumb stud personally, but it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, yeah, the sound and feel of it, just a nice little step up there. Oops, it's kind of out of position there. It's not quite as intuitive for the reverse flick. There's a lot more space, so this one you don't have a lot of choice. If you're grabbing the knife, you're pretty much in the reverse flick position, whereas this one you're kind of like, where's my finger need to go? So it's not quite as intuitive for the reverse flick, I'd say, but the thumb flick is really nice there. You can see, never handled the knife before. Sorry, I'm totally out of zoom here. Let me get this guy out of here because he messes up the focus. Not out of zoom, but out of focus rather. But man, that really is some awesome action there. So you can roll it out, reverse flick it. Again, not quite as intuitive. Thumb flick it. Really liking the feel of this one. Feels really nice. Let's put it up against some other knives you might be familiar with. I'd say size-wise, it's kind of a good one to compare to a hinderer, just to like kind of really put this in perspective. It's actually bigger than a hinderer. Sorry, I'm like way off center here from the video. It's not as big as the Demco 8020. Let's go up here. This guy's still got a little bit of size on it, not a lot. In fact, if I switch this around for you, you might notice it might even look bigger than the Demco, being closer to the camera. It's pretty darn similar. It's just not as hefty, not as big on the blade stock thickness, not as wide. But it is like lengthwise very similar to like a Demco 8020. So that's the category that we're talking about here. It's pretty exciting. Benchmade bug out to compare. And just gonna throw out the Spyderco Paramilitary 3 there as a comparison. And then lastly, we'll do the, just because it's Thunderlight, we have to do the Banter. It's his favorite knife. And I'll even switch this around just to give the Banter a little advantage on closeness to the camera for perspective. But yeah, this is a big knife. This is a serious knife here. I didn't really notice so much the slickness of the Pyrite on these smaller models. This one, by the way, is the I don't know if they call it reverse tanto or the sheep's foot or whatever, but this smaller model, I don't notice the slickness of the handle so much. It doesn't feel like it's going to slip out of my hands. It's because it's sort of small. I do notice it a bit on this bigger one. It definitely feels slippery. Even though it's the same finish, there's just a lot of knife there, and I feel like you really want texturing on this. So it'd be really nice if they do a textured version of this. I would highly recommend going for that textured version if they do it. This one does feel a little slick in hand. It's not quite as good feeling in hand or as intuitive feeling in hand as the regular Pyrite, which just kind of snugly fits in there, and there's nowhere to really to go. So I don't know, you don't really notice the slickness, even though it's the same steel, same polished steel, sort of a stone-washed polished steel finish. It does not feel as good on this one. Even though I generally like the feel of a bigger knife in hand more, this one I don't. It's very interesting, very interesting. So keep that in mind. You know, if they end up doing texturing, that would definitely be something I'd recommend as a go-to. And let's just get a couple of these pointed out here. Maybe we, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's do it like that. I also have the titanium version now, so I've started this little Pyrite collection. So it's quite exciting to get this prototype version of a Pyrite. If anyone has, by the way, a prototype version of the original V1 Pyrite, I'd be very interested in that from a collector perspective. And if you don't care too much, maybe I can buy you a brand new regular pyrite in trade for your proto, or just buy that prototype from you if you don't need a replacement. But yeah, as a collector, this isn't necessarily like the most sought after collector knife in general, but I like the idea, because I'm a pyrite fan, of having that prototype. That's pretty cool. So that's neat there. So we can get back in focus. Don't know what's going on with my camera today. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'd say overall, nothing wrong with it aside from the slickness. That's the only thing I really detect on here. The button lock works brilliantly on this scale. I'm not testing it hard or anything like that, but feels just as good as any of the pyrites that I've tried in the past. Yeah, I think that's an exciting additional version for them to be bringing out for the pyrite loving knife community, because they do make some great knives here. And yeah, I think they're doing good things. So hopefully they bring it out with a version that has some texturing on the scale, and I think it'll be a real winner. So that's about it for now. All right, please like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.